Hi everyone, and welcome back to grade 12 math with Mr. Simons, where we make math simple and we get you exam ready, right? So again on arithmetic sequence and series, right? Now we're looking at November 2010 in the Prelim 2020 KwaZulu-Natal lesson or past paper for this lesson, right? So let's look at the questions and the solutions. Right, so November 2010, in South Africa hosted the World Cup. Say the following arithmetic sequence is given. So again, they specify arithmetic sequence, so it must have a common first difference. So 20, 23, 26, 29, it goes all the way to 101. So 20 plus 3, 23 plus 3, 26, etc. How many terms are there in the sequence? So we want to know what term is 101. Right, so my A, which is the first letter of the alphabet, represents the first term in the sequence. So A equal 20. T, term 2 minus term 1, 23 minus 20 gives me 3. And Tn equal 101. So Tn equal A plus n minus 1 times T, where A is 20 and T is 3. Tn is then 101, term at the end. If I take 20 over 101 minus 20 gives me 81. 3 times n would give me 3n. 3 times minus 1 would give me negative 3. Take negative 3 over 81 plus 3 would give me 84 equal 3n. 84 divided by 3 then gives me 28. So 1 mark there for correct substitution and 1 mark for the answer. In theory, I should write there are 28 terms because the question said how many terms are there in the sequence. Right, now in these exam questions, we always put in a surprise. They say the even numbers are removed from the sequence. So even numbers normally can divide into 2. So there, 20, 26, they are even, so they are removed. I'm left with the odd numbers, 23 and 29. So my new sequence, 23, 29 to 101, 1 mark. Right? Calculate the sum of terms of the remaining sequence. So if I have 28 terms in total, 14 of them would be even and 14 would be odd, meaning half of 28. So A is 23, T 29 minus 23 gives me 6, N 28 divided by 2, which gives me 14 terms. So 1 mark for A, 1 for T, and 1 for N. Sn, because they said sum, so Sn equal n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times t, n being 14, a being 23, and t being 6. So 14 minus 1, which is 13 times 6, plus 46 times 7 gives me 2625. So 1 for correct substitution and 1 for correct final answer. All right. So I hope you understand, you follow. Let's look at the next question. They say Prelim 2020 KwaZulu-Natal. The first 4 terms of arithmetic sequence are 2 over 5, 3 over 5, 0, 8, and 1. It continues. Determine the value of the n term. Right? So value of the n term, meaning we want the formula. So A there is 2 over 5. D, they said arithmetic, so term 2 minus term 1. So 3 over 5 minus 2 over 5, which then equals 1 over 5. For n term, Tn equal A plus n minus 1 times D. A being 2 over 5, D being 1 over 5. 1 over 5 times n gives me 1 over 5n. 1 over 5 times negative 1 gives me negative 1 over 5. 2 minus 1 gives me 1 over 5. So my equation reads Tn equal 1 over 5n plus 1 over 5. 1 for correct end formula and 1 for correct substitution. Right, let's look at the next question. Calculate the sum of the first 30 terms. So we know A is 2 over 5, T was 1 over 5, but now they're telling us that N is 30 terms. Very careful when you read. Highlight if you must, because some of us read so quickly we don't take note of what they said. They said sum, so I have to use Sn formula. So Sn equal n over 2, 2 times A plus n minus 1 times D. A being 2 over 5, N being 30, and D being 1 over 5. If I multiply out again, I still get 2625. Right, so 3 marks there for A, D, and N. 2 marks for correct substitution, and 1 mark for final answer. Given 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2n terms equals 72,710. Calculate the number of terms in the series. Right, so Tn, the last term is 72,710. A being 2, D is 5 minus 2, term 2 minus term 1, which gives me 3. So Tn equal 2 plus n minus 1, and t is 3. 3 times n gives me 3n. 3 times minus 1, negative 3. Tn being 72,710 minus 2 gives me 72,708. Take negative 3 over, becomes plus 3. So 72708 plus 3, 72711. And if I divide that by 3, coefficient in front of n, I get 24,237 rand, 1 mark. So 1 for correct A and D, 1 for correct substitution of A and D, 1 mark for the value by Tn, 1 mark for simplification, and 1 mark for final answer. Right? I know you've worked hard to get here, and I'm grateful that you have stayed till the end of the lesson. Continue being resilient, continue practicing. Become the better version. Right? I want to see you succeed. God bless. Bye.